Hello everybody and welcome back to A Royal Reader. My name is Cece and today we are going to be doing my March D20 TBR. It's March. The last time I did this was back in January. I think it is safe to assume I did not complete any of those books. I do just want to clarify, I suffered a really bad reading slump and life has just sort of hit me real hard, real fast, and everything just sort of went to shit a little bit. So I didn't read any of the books that I had on the TBR, except for maybe, I think, possibly my reread of A Court of Thorns and Roses. I did manage to complete that, so if you would like to see the books that I actually have read over the last 3 months, then be sure to check out my recent reads. I will have the video linked up in the eye. I think it's on this side. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has watched that very first January TBR video. I saw that it had got the most views out of all of my videos at the moment, so I'm really glad you guys are enjoying it. Let's get into the next one, basically. So before we start with the roles, I do actually have a couple books already on the TBR, and they are for university. So I am back at university. I am focusing on English and literary studies, so I obviously have quite a few books to read for that, as well as quite a lot of readings in general. So I have 3 main texts that I need to read, and the first one is in fact Shakespeare's Midsummer's Night Dream. I don't have a copy yet, I'm still waiting for it in the mail, but one of our assignments is based on this book, and luckily enough I don't have to read it until week 5, which is in the last week of March, so that is good. So hopefully I can get some of these books read beforehand. And the second book that I do have to read is the Penelopiad, I believe it's how you pronounce it, by Margret Atwood. This is a Greek myth retelling of Penelope, who is the wife of Odysseus. I believe this is just sort of recounting what her life was like as Odysseus was stuck out in the ocean for, I believe, 20 years after conquering Troy. I am excited to read this. This is the first time I have ever heard of it, and I also did not know that Margret Atwood wrote more books than the Handmaid's Tale, so you could imagine my surprise when I saw that it was her who had written this book. And the last book that I do in fact have to read is just a few sections of Homer's The Odyssey. I believe this comes into play later on throughout my course, but I do obviously want to read it before my assignments are due, because, you know, I'm gonna need time to actually read it and write it and stuff like that. So those are the 3 books that I have on the list, which sort of segues into the new rule that I have for the game. So as you guys would have seen from the first round back in January, I had written down that number 14 was the oldest publication date, and I sort of struggled a little bit to try and find one that was written back in God knows when. So I picked up the Iliad by Homer. Looking back at it now, the Iliad is actually also classed as a classic in my list, so when I do roll another 14, I'm obviously going to be choosing books that are not in the classic genre, because I just don't want to shoot myself in the foot by having to read like 5 classics the next time I pick that up. So yeah, so that's going to be the new rule that I have going in place. The oldest publication date does not include classics. Classics are going to be their own little genre, which is, you know, what I have written for the rules in my book. So anyway, let's get onto the roles. I am not going to give myself a punishment of adding any more books onto the TBR, because I'm only just getting back into reading, so I don't want to force myself to be overloaded with anything, so yeah, let's get to the rolls. Natural 20. So the first roll was super good. Woo! We have a natural 20. So natural 20 is read whatever you want. So I have a couple of books that I can add to this. But so far I am going to, in fact, pick, I don't even have it with me, what the heck am I doing? I'm back. So for the natural 20, which is read whatever you want, I am going to have Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is going to be towards my reread of this series, so I can eventually, at some point this year, make it to A Court of Silver Flames. So, yay, the TBR was good to me. Roll number 2. $16. Alright, so roll number 2 was a 16, which is in fact an LGBTQ+ book. Now, for this roll that I also had not last month, back in January, I actually picked Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nyang, I believe is how you pronounce it. I'm so sorry if I've gotten it wrong. This is a fantasy book that has a female-female romance at the heart. So I do kind of still want to read this, but at the same time I have another book that I'm currently in the middle of called Master of One by a lovely person whose name has slipped my mind. So Master of One by Jaida Jones and Danny Bennett. So this is a high fantasy young adult. I believe it follows our main character Rags, who is a well-known thief, and he is sort of charged, I guess you could say, with trying to discover these missing fae relics that have been missing for goodness knows how long. And the synopsis does sort of lead into a possible romance between Rags and a fellow sorcerer. So I am kind of wanting to pick that. Let me just double check before I shoot myself in the foot like I have done multiple times. Okay, so it says, with the heist and intrigue of Six of Crows and the dark fairy tale feel of The Cruel Prince, this young adult fantasy debut will have readers rooting for a pair of reluctant heroes as they take on a world-ending fae prophecy, a malicious royal plot, and most dangerously of all, their feelings for each other. So, does that scream gay or does that scream gay? So that's what we're going to be picking for this one, because I am already 16% through it and I don't want to have to try and pick up another book when I already have quite a few on the list already. So yes, at some point I promise I will read this, just not right now. Alright, next roll, let's go! Roll number 3. Oh. Natural 1. Roll number 3. Got me a natural 1, which if you remember from January's TBR video, a natural 1 means I have to add a book to the list. Let's do roll number 4. Did I say roll number 2 before? I meant roll number 3. Let's do roll number 4. We'll pick a book and then we'll go to roll number 5, which I did not want to do, but you know. Roll number 4, let's go. Roll number 4. So roll number 4 got me a middle grade, which is super exciting because I still have not read Hollowpox. I know, I'm horrible. I keep trying to get it from my library and I just forgot about getting it, and I was gonna buy it and then I forgot about buying it, and excuses, I know, but that's basically all I have to say. So I think I am going to still pick Hollowpox for my middle grade pick of the month. I mean, I wouldn't really necessarily class Percy Jackson as a middle grade. I mean, the first book possibly, but the rest of them start to head more towards in a YA sort of feel. Oh. I do in fact have Miss Victoria Schwab's books here. This is her middle grade series that is about a spooky ghost girl called Cassidy Blake, I believe. I'm gonna pick this instead. So, from what I do know about this, Cassidy's parents are sort of like ghost hunters and they have their own TV show. They decided to move to Edinburgh, and that is when Cassidy realizes that she can see the dead. The city of ghosts is more dangerous than she ever imagined. It's quick, and it's short, and it's a middle grade, so I'm gonna pick this. Alright, roll number 5 that I didn't want to do, but I got a natural 1, so, you know, the universe is playing me, I swear to God. Let's go. And the last roll, thanks to the natural 1, we have a number 6. So roll number 5 got me a 6. I believe it is a 6. If it's a 9, I'm sorry. But number 6 is in fact start a new series or complete a series. I do not have time for this. I am going to cheat a little bit and once again pull a book that I originally had on my January TBR that I still have not completed. Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. This, as I'm sure many of you know, is Kerri Maniscalco's newest book that is in fact a series, and the title of the second book has also just been revealed. I think it's something, the Cursed something or other, Cursed Castle, Cursed Kingdom, something like that, I can't remember, but it is a series and I have been reading it, sort of, ish. So yes, in this, it is set in Sicily in some historical period. We follow our main character, Amelia, as she discovers that her twin sister has been brutally murdered, and they are witches, so she decides to dabble in some dark magic to try and discover who is behind the murder of her sister, as well as the murders of other witches throughout Italy. She somehow does something wrong and summons a prince of hell called Wrath, and they sort of team up as an unlikely couple and try and discover exactly what has happened. So yes, that'll be my 5th book, not counting the 3 books that I already have for university. Yay. I am also going to be including this book for Becca's Bookopoly. Becca's Bookopolathon. Oh god, I can't remember what it's called. But Becca from Becca and the Books is going to be hosting a 48-hour version of her TBR game called Becca's Bookopoly. This is a really interesting and really fun TBR game. Every, I think it was 12 hours or so, or something along those lines, she rolls new prompts for everybody to pick, so you cannot set a TBR, but she did in fact roll 2 of the prompts already for her announcement video, which I will have linked down below for you to check out if you want to join. And the prompts were to pick a dark cover and a fantasy. So this is a dark cover. It's black, first off, and it's about witches, which, you know, is fantasy. So that's going to be this. So the readathon is going to be held on the 22nd and 23rd of March. I believe it is over a weekend, obviously, because it is all completely live, which is insane, but I am super, super excited about it. And yeah, that's gonna take off those 2 prompts there. Woo! So here we have just a few of the books that I have to read for the month of March. Oh my god, send help please. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do this. This book is chunky, but I've also already read it, so it might not take me as long. This should be interesting. Alrighty, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you thought. The dice really did not like me today. It gave me a natural 20 and then it gave me natural 1. So that was great. Let me know what your thoughts were down below in the comments. If you enjoyed it, do give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, please don't hesitate to click that subscribe button down below. If you'd like to see more of me, then do be sure to check out the links in the description box. I have my social medias listed down there, so go ahead and give me a follow so we can become friends. And I hope you guys have a good month for your TBRs. Send me luck because I'm definitely going to need it. And I will see you guys in another video later on.